Welcome to Absolute Savage's new podcast. I'm Ava DaCosta Meyer.
And I'm Happy Miles.
Hi. Well, this is moderately exciting.
This is very exciting, isn't it? This is a whole new world. A whole new world for us. Whole
And you
new.
can't sing that unless you've actually got flying
Would you believe it? I left it in my other dress.
carpet. Oh, and I bet the check's in the post.
The check is also in the post, and all the other terrible, terrible phrases that we hate hearing.
Okay, so enough of that then.
Enough of that. And welcome to Yours Savagely, the
Yeah,
brand spanking new podcast.
without any spanking, because we're very fast.
Absolutely. No, no
No
actual
spank.
ranking, just in the shiny new kind of way. The shiny new podcast from us, the
That's,
absolute savages.
yeah, do you want to explain how we got our name? Because it is pretty cool.
It's very cool. Yes, we bounced about 20 or so between us, didn't we? And then all of a sudden,
Names, for
names,
clarity.
names, names, absolutely. And it was all Ava's doing because I, I I run my own nights called Absolutely Hilarious, obviously using my own name, and Ava sort of took that and took the word savages because it has Ava's name in it. For those of you who aren't fully proficient on your spelling, um, and combined it to be absolute savages.
Yeah, and it does suit us as a couple. Not that we're a couple. Got to start so many rumors doing.
Oh, go on, I'll say it. It's only a rumor.
It's true, which it isn't. We're not a couple, but that doesn't matter. We can still be a podcast couple,
we
partners,
we
whatever.
we are comedy wives. Does that work?
Comedy wives. Is that? It's like having a work wife. Is that what you
It's like having a work wife. Yeah, it's the
say?
same
Okay.
as having a work wife, but more fun because we're doing comedy,
Yeah,
not work.
comedy's always fun.
Absolutely, it should be.
Apart from when you die on your own.
That's not so fun at all. And that's unfortunately one of those bears we have to cross.
It is. And no one likes crossing a bear, do we, ladies?
Anyway,
Anyway.
I think we should kick off proceedings in the most civilized way possible. Should we have tea,
Okay.
dear?
Certainly. Shall I be mother?
Well, you've had a lot more practice than I have, so why not?
Oh my God, you're not a pre-lactarian.
Not in the slightest. I haven't lactated at all.
Oh my God, I'm relieved to hear it.
Wait,
Milk, darling?
oh, yes, please, my dear.
Toast. Okay.
Absolutely. None of that uh, nonsense about putting milk in first.
None of that.
Would you believe such a thing? But I actually researched it once. I researched why people think they should put milk in.
Is there any particular excuse?
There is. It was to do with um, the use of very fine china cups and the thought that the milk would moderate the temperature of the tea going in and it wouldn't crack the cup.
Hmm,
That's what Google told me. So
must be true.
I'm taking it as read. Oh, yes, please. One, please, dear.
One lump. Two.
Oh, just the one. Thank you very much.
Very well.
Are we steering clockwise or anti-clockwise? What's the done
That I
thing?
don't think we need to be particular about.
Yeah, so apparently it was all to do with that. And that has since been debunked completely.
Well, yes.
Believe it or not, I ended up researching a job interview where I had to do a presentation on the history of tea drinking in the UK. I work for an insurance company, but they chose that as the subject matter that I had to talk on.
Any more interesting than what I last had to interview. which has how you would transform NHS services. I didn't get the job, as you can tell, because it's all a mess.
That, yeah, you would have really
Oh, I
transformed.
don't
You would have transformed that better than Optimus Prime.
I would have, but they didn't. Anyway,
How dare they?
cheers, darling.
Cheers, dear.
I can offer you a biscuit as well. These are a fine
Oh,
raisin and oat
oh,
and a ginger, stem ginger.
I'll go with the ginger.
Okay,
I do like me a ginger. You have been warned
yes, it was noted down. List of stuff to never forget.
and never mention in front of.
That's a long list, actually.
We'll be right back after this lovely cup of tea.
So, you know how all the stories I tell are true?
Absolutely true. Yes, I believe every single word.
Uh, um, even the going to being invited to rubbish, that was true. And the only reason I was hoodwinked into it, I'm ever so slightly neurodivergent. So I see things in retrospect. I don't always pick up nuance at the time. So I'm not very good at seeing red flags. Afterwards, when you point them out, you go, actually, yes, that is ridiculous. Yes.
I actually have problems seeing red flags myself because I'm colorblind.
Yes, different.
They're very different.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if I ever told you about 20p Sandwich Guy.
Please share the story of 20p Sandwich Guy. Because, well, I may have heard about it.
Mm.
I'm sure some of our lovely audience have, and they would love to know more about 20p Sandwich Guy.
Well, you know the band James?
Yes.
I totally love them. And I had two tickets to James, and I really wanted to go, but I don't want to go on my own because I'm scared of crowds. And I was really worried that I was going to have to go on my own because I wasn't dating anybody at the time. And this chap got hold of me online, actually, and Match.com, I think it was. Other platforms are available. I wouldn't say other high quality platforms are available because none of them failed to disappoint. But we matched, and I said, it's really cool that we've started to chat because I would like to have a date when I go to this James concert. Would you like to go? And he sounded like all his Christmases come at once because he loved James.
And it would mean he'd get to sit down next to you.
You'd think, but they were the cheap seats.
Oh,
So he wasn't very happy about that because he thought he'd get a seat, but he didn't. And we landed up, he did take me to Cardiff to this concert. And um, I said to him, please, whatever you do, don't leave at this concert because I really am really scared of crowds. He said, okay, no problem, no problem. And then when we got there, I said, would you like a drink? And I thought he would offer me a drink because I had paid for the tickets. No drink coming. So I said to him, would you like it? And he said, oh, I don't drink at concerts. And he said, besides, there's a queue for the bar. And I thought, yeah, there would be a queue for the bar.
funny that.
Yeah. Anyway, so about 10, 15 minutes into the concert, he just disappeared. And then I'm thinking, oh no, what do I do? Am I stranded? I got here in his car. Oh. And then he came back about 20 minutes later holding a bottle of water. And he said, I got your drink. I was like, oh, thanks. At least it's a grown up drink. But I thought, no, don't be kind. He's obviously gone. That's very kind. So I drank this water with gratitude in my heart. And at the end of the concert, it was about 11 p.m. on a Sunday. And he said to me, I suppose you want food. And I said, no, thank you, I'm fine. And he said, no, no, you should have food. I said, okay. Now, throughout the entire concert, he'd stood like this. So I'd sort of said, Are you enjoying this? And he said, yeah. And he told me he was a radio producer. And it was so weird because at the end of every song, it would be something like they would do, say, sit down next to me. And it'd go, sit down next to me, like James, the band, 1980, whatever. As if he was introducing it on a radio. And I thought, well, maybe just a radio producer, they do. Anyway, so long story short, he then walked me through Cardiff to McDonald's. Now, you know what I'm like. I'm not very good walking. By the time we got there, I'd been stood up at a concert and then I was walking. And it was snowing. It was 2 degrees below. And by this time, it was nearly midnight. So McDonald's wasn't living. And we were sitting outside McDonald's sharing Happy Meal with chicken nuggets. Is the last of the big spenders, this guy. But that's fine because sometimes people don't have money, and it's fine, and it's a story, it's amusing.
Absolutely, yeah.
Anyway, on the way home, as he pulled up outside the house, he said to me, "That was the best evening of my life." I was like, "Really?" Agonized almost all the way through. But I was like, "That's good. That's good. I'm really glad you had fun." And he goes, "I'm going to take you to. I'm going to get you and take you to dinner, okay? Because I paid the James ticket. They're very
Yeah,
expensive. I'm going to get dinner out of this at least." Well,
and go to the over 20, main course menu.
no, no, I'm not enough to spend more than £20. Yeah, it's still on the cheap seats. Anyway, so he came to collect me for dinner. Now it's December time, shortly before Christmas. I was dressed for dinner. I was wearing a pretty dress, got some hair, I was face on, and we're going to go to dinner. I didn't even take a good coat. I took the pretty coat, which isn't the same as the good coat. So got in his car. We started driving to Connecticut. And I said, "Oh, where are we going to go?" And he said, "Connecticut." And I was like, "Oh, I've never been on a date. Well, this is going to be fun." Boy, was I wrong. We get we got to Trustra Retail Park and we
Uh,
joined the queue at McDonald's. And I was like, I mean, he's a radio producer. Oh, yeah, but that's okay. I don't mind if it's me.
Maybe he just wanted to recreate the magic of that first night sitting outside McDonald's with the Happy Meal,
Yeah, the shared Happy Meal.
the shared Happy.
Two nuggets each. No, we got to the front of the queue and he ordered two coffees. He didn't ask me what I would like, if I like coffee or not. He just ordered two coffees and then drove. And I therefore two coffees, thinking, well, at least something in this car is warm because that sure as heck ain't. And then he drove to the estuary and he parked in this overlooking the water. And I must say it was quite nice because it was dark, so you don't know that all the lights of the water are just industrial. And I was so cold I choked at that. And he said to me, "Oh, you really like the coffee?" And I said, "I'm just really cold." And he said, "Oh, you're really cold?" He said, "Pitch in and we'll snuggle and we'll get warmer." And at this point, I was thinking, this is how people survive. So I did. I pitched in to survive. Yeah. Um, it
Obviously
was,
worked. Here you
well,
are.
I know you're surprised to hear, but I didn't die that night. Yeah. Although it was a close run. So then he started to get handsy. And I was like, "No, no, what are you doing?" And he said to me, "Well, there's no one around." I said, "There's people literally right there." And he goes like this. And then he got out the car. He turned his car off, by the way, to save petrol. So it's freezing. It's 2 degrees below, you know. And he went running around and he's chatting with these people, left his car door open and the light. And then left his car door open so the light was on. People could see me in his car, looking all disheveled and oh my God. And he came and got back in the car and said, "They're just dog walkers." I'm like, I don't understand why that makes a difference. They're still humans. Anyway, so he wanted to get handsy again, and I said, "No, I'm sorry, I can't." And he goes, "No, you're right." He said, "Actually, I'm gonna take you somewhere really nice. I know where's really nice. We're gonna go there." And I said, "Great, I hope they have a bathroom." And he was watching that. Goes, "Oh." So we pull up outside a pub, and he said, "I'll wait for you here. You could go in and use the bathroom." I was shivering so hard. It's ridiculous. So, but I'm so stupid. What I should have done is run in, use the phone, s- speak to my daughter, and say, "Come and get me rescue." That your mother's gonna freeze to death. You're gonna find my cold hard corpse lying on the side of the road. But I didn't. Again, I see this in retrospect. I got back in his car. He drove me to a place I still would never be able to find, an abandoned farm in the hills outside Venice. And he said to me, "This is where I used to play as." And then he wanted to get handsy again. He goes, "No one will interrupt us here." I said, "That's exactly what I'm worried about. I don't want to do this." He goes, "Oh, like what I bought you coffee." And I said, "Look, I don't want to do this. I want to go home." I started to cry because I'm a bit. So anyway, he said, "Fine, I'll take you home." He was a bit mystified. He couldn't understand it. So then I was chatting it through with someone who said, "Oh, he's just on the spectrum. He doesn't understand at all, does he?" And then I felt really bad. I'm like, "Oh, he is. He's on the spectrum, and I didn't even realize." So then he called me up and he said, "Look, sorry about that. Can I get you a proper?" Do you think I told him to get lost?
I think, foolishly, you didn't.
I did not. I thought, I'm going to give this guy a third chance. This is how bad the dating pool is. So he came and got me from my house, and I said, "Where are we going to go?" And he said, "Morris." Okay, good. See. And he said, "I thought we'd go to my house for dinner." I was like, "Oh."
What could possibly go wrong?
Turns out he doesn't have a house. Bless him. He's obviously not done very well out of his house, being taken, and he now lives in shared accommodation with three other men. And everything is so ridiculously dirty to the point that this guy couldn't make himself use the kitchen. So he took me to his home, in which the only accommodation he had was one room. And it turns out at this point, he's not a music. He's a security guard at Asda, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with
Nothing
being a
wrong at
security
all.
guard at Asda. If he just said, I'd have been great. The guy's got a stable job. And also, he'd saved somebody's life by using their AED as a security guard at Asda. I think that's marvelous.
Fantastic.
Absolutely. An honorable job.
Nothing to be ashamed of.
Nothing to be ashamed of. So why lie? Anyway, in the middle of all of these lies, turns out, right, he's taken me to this house. The only space he's got in this house is his bedroom, which has the only furniture is one bed, a bed, and a little table that's got his laptop on it. That's all he's got. And there's plastic bags around the corner with his stuff in. And he said to me, "I did get dinner for you." I said, "Oh, great." And he had a mug, with his two mugs that he'd filled with water for me. He said, "I know you like it." I'm like, "Yeah, pretty much 79% of me is made of water. I do have some affinity for the substance." So he passes me this mug of water that had been poured long before he got in to get me. So it's kind of warm, but made a refreshing change from freezing up.
Well, who is that?
And then he pulled one of the plastic bags. As a security guard, he gets options on the food that he go out. And he had purchased a selection of salads for me to choose.
Said romance was there.
Yeah, 20 each. All mayonnaise, a day out of date. Chicken salad, a day out of date. soggy, old.
There are some things in life you do not trust, and a
Yes.
day out of date for Mayo's family, one of those things.
This man must have a conflict of iron because he said to me, "They're really good, and I only have to pay 20p for them." That's what he told me. Obviously, let me make it up to this woman dead. And I said, "I'm really sorry. I don't hate myself." And he said, "Oh, okay." He was a bit stunned, put the packet down, and tried to push it. So I just said, "Actually, I'm done. I'm out." And I made him drive me home. And I know he was stunned. He had no idea what had gone wrong. No. I said, "How does a man live to 55 years and be that oblivious about that?" Just don't understand it. Anyway, that's 20p sandwich guy.
So I think what we might do with that is each week take in turns for disastrous dating stories, because I think we may have one or two each to tell on this subject.
Yeah.
Um, but we're going to take a little break there, refresh our teeth, and come back to you with something a little bit different. Okay, so we're back.
Mhm.
And we are, as promised, going to touch on something a little bit educational. We're going to talk to you about how we got started in comedy. Some of you watching obviously may not know us. We are both aspiring comedians, I think is the best way to put it, in the South Wales comedy circuit. And we both started out in a very similar way, didn't we?
Although we didn't know each other.
We didn't know each other. Ava's been doing this
3 years now.
3 years. I'm just coming up to my first anniversary of this. Um, but we had very startlingly similar beginnings, didn't we?
It'd be interesting to know if this is a normal way to comedy, if anything about you.
Oh, well, there is that. It does raise a question, doesn't it? So yeah, we we both know a lot of comedians on the circuit who started what I don't know if it would be termed a more conventional way. Um, you know, their friends said, "Oh, you're funny. Look, there's an advert for a course," and a lot of people do these comedy courses and learn how to structure a set, funny, and write jokes. It's fantastic.
Mm.
It's all valid. Every way in is valid. We will not for a moment move away from any of that, will we?
Well, I think it gives you certainly some of the science. I think people who are funny in a dinner party think they'll be funny in doing stand up, but it's completely different.
That can often be the case,
Mm.
yes.
Like, I've never really told anybody from the mic the 20p sandwich guy story because while it's funny in a dinner party or in a setting like this, using it as a story to tell and stand up is really difficult. It's long winded, punchlines. And when people go on these courses, it teaches them that. We
Yes,
had to learn that the hard
absolutely. So both of us were in similar situations. You were on a date, I
I
believe.
wasn't.
I was out with a friend for a few drinks and got along to an open mic. And my friend, in the lead up to that, had said to me, "Look, we can go to this open mic night. You can get up and try and be funny." What a confidence boost that was. Those words were uplifting to me. So I went, you know what? I'm going to do that. I had a couple of days' notice. I wrote down a few pages of A4 of funny stories, as we often do from life experience. Wrote down a few funny stories, slipped them down a little bit, but they were still very long and wordy, and got up and enjoyed it so much I did it again 2 weeks later, but not before. My friend had said to me after, she was like, "So you enjoy that?" I said, "Yeah, it's good. Are you going to do it again?" Yeah, I think I will do it again. She said, "Do me a favor. Next time, please try say something funny." Now, this friend, in fairness, my best friend, one of my closest friends ever, and quite frequent, she will uplift me before a gig, even if she's not there. If she knows it's a very important gig to me, I'll I'll get a little uplifting text off her. Those three lovely words you love hearing from your best friends. She'll message me and say, "Don't be shit."
It's good advice.
That's great advice for everyone.
Mm.
So for you, similar days,
Um, no, I was on a date with a person who was very he was so boring, unbelievable, uh, stifled everything about, being with this. We didn't laugh, but, he was nice and safe, and after Caravan Mode, anyway, so he was very boring, and he just wanted to lie on the sofa and watch Sky. Racing on Sky, racing, people in machines driving in circles. That's what he wanted to do all of the time. And I was so bored. I said to him, if I have to spend another evening in here at home watching you watch people drive around in circles, I'm going to go mad. And he said, it's Wednesday, nothing will be open. I said, it's Swansea. There's two universities. It's going to be wild. Let's just go somewhere, please. So we did. And we landed up going to Jam Jar. I don't know if you never got to
I never went to Jam Jar. I've heard of. I hear wonderful things. How much
Jam.
everybody misses Jam Jar.
It was a wonderful place, but it was an utter circus. So we got there there was an open mic night on, and some people were singing. The wonderful Paul Dennis was there.
Oh, fantastic! Love
He's
Paul.
such an amazing musician, guy. And he did some songs. And there were a few other people, but there were some comedians, and I don't know who they are, but some comedians, and they were terrible, truly awful. And I was watching them, and I had had a couple of drinks, to be honest. And I said to the chap I was with, "Well, they were dreadful." And he said, "Well, if you think it's good, you go do it." And I said, "Fine, I will." So I went and signed up at the bar and said, "Can I do some of this?" "Yeah, just stick your name on the paper." So I did. And within a couple of minutes, I was up there and I did 10 minutes on what it's like to be a mum. And people laughed. And then the manager said to me, "Oh, you're actually quite good. If you need to speak to Kirsty Davies, who's on it,
I know Kirsty Bell.
you need to speak to Kirsty Davies." So I went, I did a couple more open mics so I could get a video, sent it in to Kirsty, and she said, "Yeah, you're right."
Amazing.
Yeah. And we've both been very lucky that people have been nice enough to take a pause and give
Well,
us 10 minutes.
funnily enough, when you mentioned Paul Dennis, he actually gave me my first proper comedy gig. I think I did 5 open mics, and in that time I got on to the forum, South Wales Comedy Forum on Facebook. Great place to start.
Mm,
Drop, join it, drop a message, welcoming lovely people. I cannot express enough how lovely the circuit is. It's like a big family, slightly dysfunctional around the edges, one or two
yes,
uncles you wouldn't invite to family functions, but
yes. And the
all in all,
siblings you always fight with.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. But wonderful place to be.
Mm,
And for me, I saw spots were advertised. I applied to Paul. I sent a rather amateurish open mic video to him, and then realised I had to condense what I had. I've been doing 8, 10, 12 minutes in these open mics, and then I realised I had to make it a lot shorter, damn sight funnier. And there was born my first 5 minute set.
mm,
Um, and the best bit of advice anyone gave me was before that. Someone I'd known for a few years who I never knew did stand up. I said, "Oh, I'm giving this a try." Best advice you'll ever get. Right. best 5 minutes you can, be prepared to get totally bored of doing it because you but it's so important to have that always in your back pocket.
Yeah, because when things don't go well, you need something that you can easily fall back on that's just instinctive, a bit of muscle memory behind the mic really
Yeah.
helps. But I think it's also important to notice that neither you nor I were were any stranger to performing. You did a lot of pantomime.
Yeah, I started off at the age of 7, doing pantomime, and then by the time I was about 14, 15, I started to play drug. Then I went into Amdram, um, went to Panto at the same time. I was mainlining both. Um, and
Unhealthy.
it all goes downhill from there. Occasional extra work when I could get it, you know. But yeah, ostensibly from very young age, I was performing. Um, by the end of it, I did over 30 years in pantomime. Don't look old enough, do I?
Oh, yes.
Oh yes, I do. I really do. But luckily, I have good foundation, and
Yeah, that's true.
I can put softer focus on the camera, hopefully,
I would appreciate that.
with the editing software.
Thank you.
Um, but yeah, by the end, I've written, directed, pantos, I've done all sorts of stuff. So I had a little bit of a grounding in it, and I'd written a book as well at that point, which again was a catalyst because same friend said, "Well, I've lived reading your book. You're actually quite funny, really, aren't you?" And I was brilliant.
Wow,
Again,
quite an accolade.
what an accolade.
Yeah, I've been an NHS manager a long time, and I delivered a lot of training, sometimes corporate training, presentations, things like that. And because the subject that I used to teach people about, all of my subjects were really dry. So teach about resilience and rescue governance, things people don't want to do. And it's really important to make those things a little bit entertaining. But I had an awful experience because I do a lot of spoonerism. You know.
I know runisms very well.
Yes, spoonerisms when you mix up the first letters, and I sometimes do that. So I was talking about pandemic, and I mixed those up in front of 200 very senior members of staff and said pandemic. I know, and I wanted
Oh,
to
brilliant.
die because I was in a really formal environment. Pandemic. People were helpless laughing. And I remember thinking to myself, either I'm going to have to own this or I'm just going to. So I thought I'm going to own it. So I said, oh, if you think that's bad, you should hear my talk. And, and it's got to be the best improvised line I've ever done. And it wasn't even in stand.
That's
Isn't that
amazing.
sad?
I think so. I think we can both agree, and many others will agree with this. The funniest, best lines, whether it's comebacks or puns or whatever, are always too late.
Yes, it's
The
true.
best comeback is always 5 minutes after the argument.
Yes.
The best puns come to you when there's no audience and they don't
Yes.
return when you have got an audience.
So,
But we all, as recently as Friday, isn't it? One of the actors, Rob Hughes, after his set,
mm,
he said, "Oh, that was a great comeback. What did you think of the comeback I did to those people?" I said, "Oh, it's brilliant." And then he just, "Oh, I wish I'd have said this, though. It's too late now."
mm.
And we always think of them, don't we? It's always
It's
too
okay.
late.
I'm pretty sure that guy will.
I think so. I
Yeah, we
think
can
so.
have another bite of
Yeah, we can
something
do
horrible.
that. We, um, so we've gone through most of our sort of how to get started, or how we got started.
Mm,
As we say, other options are available. There are plenty of courses out there, run either nationally by groups or local medians, all sorts of things. I would recommend get into a forum, talk to people.
mm.
They're lovely people. They'll give advice. They'll direct you towards open mic nights. There's loads out there in the area now. stuff, build up a lot of new artists, new material nights.
Mhm.
There's plenty of contacts out there.
Yeah, and everybody that's any good reads the book by Adam Green.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because it just gives you some of that technical know-how, and it's just really important to work on your get the stage time and listen to feedback and record yourself to
Film
watch back.
every set. Watch it as soon as you
And don't watch it for how you did, watch it for how other people laugh at what you did, because that's where the gold.
and there's 2 layers to that as well, isn't there? There's the crowd laugh and all the laughs you can go closer to the camera because that's usually the comedian. And
Yes.
if you've got a lot of laughter near the camera, near the microphone, you can tell that you've just made a bunch of cynical comedians laugh. And that's
Yes.
brilliant. That's worth its weight
Although there are
because, you
some
know,
of them that laugh at anything, and they're just so lovely.
and then there's some like me who have the worst resting bitch face ever, and seldom laugh. People often. And we're back.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
think we shall refrain from an extra couple.
Well,
We've done 2 already.
how many is too many?
Do we have a third and find out?
Let's
Let's do that. Let's go crazy.
it's utter insanity around here.
Insanity.
No?
You I love this too.
I'm just calling you names.
No, no
No.
problem. If you were calling me names, you would have a lot more effort.
I would have. It would have been something
Actually. And,
possibly a bit more dense.
and, but in line with my expectation of you.
Yes.
So, cheers. Lovely.
Mhm. Cheers. And while we're talking about spilling tea, we won't. I just wondered if you'd want to know what Cosmopolitan says about food.
That would be wonderful. I would love to know what this week has in store.
Yeah, because you are a Leo, aren't
I am indeed.
you? Yeah, I can tell. Well, this week the advice from the stars is that oversharing with coworkers could lead to disaster if you reveal all your and boundaries can be challenging at times because you like to be the center of attention.
Never. Perish the thought.
It's a bit of a call out post.
It is a bit,
But you
yes.
should slow your roll and your lips.
I've been
That's
told that before.
euphemistic. Before you tell your colleagues too personal. There you go.
Yeah. That actually quite sage-like advice.
Well, yes.
So while we're horoscoping,
Oh, okay.
shall I do you, dear?
Oh, go on then.
So, you've been let's say a Pisces?
I
Been a
am a
rough
person.
guess? Look at that.
Yes, it's written all over
Fantastic.
me.
Absolutely. I wrote it on your forehead in Sharpie, so I didn't.
To know.
This is from UK Vogue.
Okay,
Uh,
all right.
we're keeping it classy.
We do.
So, you will be community orientated this week.
Okay.
Pisces, as the Sun, Mars, Venus, and Mercury all move through Capricorn.
It was
That
inevitable, I
means
suppose.
it happens. That's none of the train lines. I don't think any of them go
No,
Capricorn via Venus and Mercury. You may be meeting up with friends or attending numerous commitments for other people, like a wedding, birthday party, or networking event.
like you know what I'm like.
You never know. You never know. On another note, you may be organising a group gathering and bringing people together.
Well, does running a gig count?
Well, it's a gathering of sorts. So
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, that works. Um, in addition, you may want to date, or you could be strengthening a romantic relationship or friendship.
Okay.
However, there may be underlying tension in a friendship you need to address, or a friend may need more of your support.
Sometimes you read a horoscope and you think that could be true for absolutely anybody on absolutely any day of any week.
Uh, I hate to use the word utterly generic, but
Vogue, try harder.
yes,
That's
yes, Rogue.
ridiculous. At least give some tea, like Cosmo.
Yeah, yeah, take a tip from Cosmo.
Yes.
Make it a bit sexy, will you?
Yeah, put your money where your horoscope is and say what you want to say. Oh, you might want to strengthen a friendship. That's it.
Someone may need support.
You may be networking,
Something may happen at some time
but might
soon,
not, but also might not.
but might not.
Yes.
But then again, it might be something else. We still
Yeah.
got this. We could write a.
We could write in fact, I think next week we
I
should do.
think we'll start doing our own.
I think, yeah,
We
next
should.
week we're going to do a horoscope for someone that isn't us.
We can do this. Um, listeners, if you would like your horoscope to be the focal point of next week's horoscope, please drop a message in the comments
Mhm,
and just give us your star sign. We will pick one at random,
mhm.
unless there's only one, in which we'll use that one. If there's none, we'll make one up.
We're just going to pick one of you, and it's going to be non-consensual horoscope.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes,
Because we just don't care. We're crazy like that.
we are insane, and in fact savage.
Absolutely so. We're back in the room.
So yeah.
So yeah.
So, done any good gigs
Yes.
recently?
I've had a few little gigs. It's early in the year. Slow start. Um, in fact, I've done so few. I mean, I'll name check them all because they've all been lovely gigs.
Okay.
Um, I did the open mic night in Sydney and Eden for Lip Service, which is female and LGBT friendly open mic. It was a very nice night.
Mm, that's great.
Done that a couple of times. It was very fun. Great crowd. Um, then I did the Ministry of Absurdism in Elysium in Swansea. Another fun night in completely different place.
Yeah.
Um,
Suitably surreal.
Suitably surreal, yes. Basically, I think there were about 5 acts that night. They were going completely out of their comfort zone on a themed absurdism night. It was good fun. Certainly nice to push the boundaries a bit, try something different. And then at the end of that week, I had a rather lovely gig in No Sign Bar in Swansea.
I may have heard that
Did you hear about that one? It was
one.
for the marvelous Mortal Wombat
I've heard about
promotion.
that.
Uh, they're wonderful.
Yes.
I believe you may have a tenuous link to Mortal Wombat.
I mean, if you call the fact that it's my comedy club that I started with the best name I've ever heard of, yes, it
I,
is my favorite comedy.
I will say it is right. It is one of the best, if not the
Mortal
best
Wombat.
name across this one.
Yeah, I
Uh,
love it.
that was a lovely night.
It's amazing. And I didn't do that on my own. I was collaborating with Reese Morgan. So it's the first time that he's run a gig. And it was brilliant. He got such a great lineup. We had such.
It was a whole lot of fun. I thoroughly enjoyed emceeing it.
Mm, yeah, it was great. It was a bit heckly at the end as people were in their cups.
Uh,
It's a nice quote, being in
Yes,
your
in your
cups. It's
cup.
very polite. Yes, you're being visited by Luna the husky.
Oh, yes, we haven't even talked about it.
I don't know why, because she's been so good. Usually she would sing the song of her people if anybody's. She's been very good today. And I can't believe that Abby still makes the mistake of coming to this house where Luna is the present incumbent and wearing black. Why would you?
Yes, I know it's a rookie mistake, which I think I will keep making.
Yeah, and Luna takes her duty of making everyone yetified, which is a word I made up to encompass the amount of fur she deposits on everybody that comes through the door. She yetifies everybody, and she takes this as a very serious part of her role in the household. So no one escapes.
Tell us a little more about Luna. For those who don't know her, if you just elaborate on the breed and fluffiness and everything.
Well, Luna's a purebred Siberian Husky that I rescued directly from an owner some time ago now, and I've had Luna for nearly 3 years. She is much adored. She's so much better now than when I got her. She weighed half what she weighs now when I got her, and she's still lean, actually. But she's doing really well. We had some behavioral issues when I got her. I didn't realize that huskies are a lot like teenagers. They'll do what you say, but only if they see what's in it for them. And they have zero recall. She'll come to me now sort of 8 times out of 10 because she knows I've got treats. But even then, if you ask her, what would you rather do, chase a stranger or have a treat, she'll chase the stranger. So she's a bit of a management problem, but she is utterly, utterly adored.
She is the most adorable.
Yeah, she's scared of heights.
How did you find out she was scared of heights? But
I found out she's scared of heights after she climbed on the neighbor's roof. She didn't work this out on her way up. It was on the way down. I mean, she obviously needed to get on the roof because the moon was up and she wanted to sing the song of her people.
absolutely,
And she did sing the song of her people at 2 a.m. on the neighbor's roof. And there is a rumor around here because my property backs onto the railway. There is a rumor around here that a Siberian Husky did get out and make 5 mainline trains late. But that can't have been my dog.
absolutely not. She wouldn't have done it.
Yeah, but we're pretending that she didn't. She ran out the front door once and was apprehended going the wrong way up Command Road. Yes, causing mayhem and disruption. But she was caught by 2 young gentlemen for whom I have great. She's utterly unashamed of all of this, nothing more than her youth.
I do have to ask one more question about Luna,
Mhm.
though. As you said, she is a Siberian husky.
She is a
Um,
Siberian Husky.
has there ever been any doubt in that lineage?
There is no doubt in her lineage. However, Luna's got some pretty complex health issues, which actually does. But it does make me smile as well because I had to take her to the vet and they had to shave her belly. So now she's a Brazilian Husky. And that is one of my favorite jokes.
That is one of my favourite jokes of yours, and I had to make sure it was in there because I
Yeah, the
wanted it
Brazilian Husky.
shared with our tens, hundreds, or possibly millions of listeners one day.
Well, I'll send you a photo you can put on the page.
Fantastic. We will. We will. No, I'm not going to say it. I am going to say it. We shall all see David's Brazilian husky.
I knew you'd say
I can never, ever turn down that opportunity.
no.
Um, so, with that, I think we shall close.
Yeah, she's
We shall say goodbye. It's
we
been an
consider the
absolute
tea
pleasure,
fully
darling.
stroked.
So, on that note,
Mhm.
She's been Ava,
and she's been Abby.
and we are
Absolute
absolute
savages.
savages. So until next time, this is us signing off. Yours savagely, Ava and Abby. Good night.